Hello friends, welcome to my channel, a channel for learning simple coding. If you find this video to be helpful, please like, share and subscribe my channel. In the last video we have seen that whenever we click on this increment or decrement button, we are doing exceptionally well. We are doing increment and decrement, but the value is not reflecting here. Actually, in React, it's not possible to change the value of state object, this is state object, without using setState function. So whenever I want to update this value and I want this value should be reflect to the screen, to this page, we have to use setState function. How we can use it and what is the purpose of this, we check here. In increments and decrement function we are using to increment and decrement the function values, but remember that we are not updating it on the screen. For updating on a screen, what we have to do, we have to use this dot setState. It is a function, remember, but in this function this is the first parameter as a object we are passing. In this object I say count value should be state dot this dot state dot count plus 1, remember, for increment. Similarly I just copy and paste here for decrement and I say -1 and save it. Very simple, just setState function, count value, because in this property we have a count value that we want to change, and what we want to change +1 and -1. Then I refresh it and click increment. You see the value is changing, decrement, the value is changing. We are able to increment and decrement the value with the help of setState. But remember that setState having now a one problem which we have to consider. If you have such kind of problem in your application also, how you will handle? You see here that I refresh it, I click on increment, so I have a 5, but in console we have a 4, then we have a 6, we have a 5. That means we are updating the value of counter, but here on console we have a previous value, not the incremented value 7. Remember this. If I am decreasing this, we have a 5 here, but we have a 6 here. So what is the problem? Problem is that whenever we change the value of this value does not display. So how we can synchronize both? Means this value and console value both should be same. So for that we have one more argument in this setState function. Remember that is decreasing one. We have here one more arrow function we can pass here, and within this arrow function we can pass this console value. It is callback function. Remember, it is a callback function. So I copy this and once again I paste this callback function here. Here I just comma and paste. So you see we have a callback function here also, and I remove this from here. No need to display here. Remember, this is a callback function. Two arguments we are passing. First argument is the object here, and second argument is a callback function in which we are displaying a count value. Remember that it will update and display, that is the callback function. So I just save this and try to run once again, refresh it. Now we try to check the value. You see 5 and 5, you see 6 and 6, you see 7 and 7, you see 6 and 6, 5 and 5. We have a synchronization between this value of state and the value which we want to display after increment and decrement. So we have to use callback function. Done. One more way to use this setState function. For that you should see one example more. I create one function. I say handle 5. Remember why handle 5? I want to call this function this dot handle increment 5 times. So I copy this, paste 1, 2, 3, 4. It become 5, save it. And I call this function here in place of increment, I call it 5. Like this. And you see, if I will run this, first of all, see my purpose, what I want. I want whenever I click on increment, it should plus 5, not plus 1. So I am calling the increment function 5 times. But when I click on this, it will show me error. Why error? This is not accessible. Remember that I shown you in the last video also, use arrow function. With arrow function you can do this. Now error is gone, but we are not incrementing plus 5, we are incrementing only 1. You see, we are incrementing only 1, we are not incrementing 5. Why? What is the problem? Problem is, whenever we called group of event handler together in a React combine all these and call once, not the 5 times. Remember, it call this, we want to call it 5 times and we want to preserve the value of the first time to second time, then third time. Means if one increment here, I want to add in this 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, I want to count. So how I can do this? I want to show you. So in handle increment function, I just make it comment for your better understanding like this. Once again, it is decrement, not increment, so I am not doing this here. I am doing here in increment. Okay, so I just make it comment like this. Now I use once again the state function, this dot set state. This is a function, remember to use once again. So first function I use as an object, now I will use as a function. For that I am using the arrow function. This is the notation, remember you have to use like this. And second one is the arrow function that is here. So I am using this function again. So what I can do, I just use to update the value as a arrow function like this, and here I type console.log and here I pass count value. I say this dot state dot count to make it refresh once again. Now inside this, here remember here in this function I want to pass previous count value, so I say pre count. Remember previous count value will come here. Now I want to update the value of count variable, I say count, then previous count dot count plus 1. Save it. Remember that this is a previous state of the object, then we have a count property plus 1 and count. Now I am calling it 5 times. Remember this, I am calling it 5 times. I save and refresh, save and refresh, and you see now it going for 5 times, but is not going 5 times for minus because we are not decreasing this, but here 8 5 13 plus 18. So with the help of this, remember that we can go for 5 times also like this. So we have to keep in mind the previous state and plus the previous state to the next state, and we have the value. This is the way to use state property. So by 3 ways we can use state property. First way, to pass an object here as a first parameter as we did here, Second, to pass a callback function here, arrow function as a callback function to get the latest value of the count after update. And third one is to pass here a function in place of object, because we want to get the previous called value also. Means if I call it first time, so I want to get the value of this, then I want to add this value to the next time, then third time, then fourth time, then fifth time. So this is the way to do in React. So by this video we understand all the three ways of using this setState function of React to update the properties and value of state, because this class component is stateful component. We can change the value of this state. That's all in this video. I think you learned something from this video. If you really learn anything, please like, share and subscribe my channel, and see you in next video also. Thank you for watching this video.